Coming up on show 636, VW introduced the VIZZION, Chevrolet's Menlo EV, and a Leaf struggle. Those stories and many more coming up on the show for Saturday, the 9th of November. Well, good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you're listening in the world. Welcome to EV News Daily. My name is Martyn Lee. I go through every EV story that I can find, all about saving you time. I've not been flush with time myself lately, hence running slightly behind, but we're getting there. We're getting back up to pace. So, thank you as always to myv.com for helping me make this show. I do appreciate their support, their ongoing support. Thank you very much to the gang, the team at myv.com, working every day to improve that site in the USA. All about buying and selling and learning about plug-in vehicles along the way as well, and so much more. Check it out at myv.com. Hey, I mentioned this at the start of the show. What do you reckon's going on here? Nissan isn't able to prevent the Leaf from falling sales-wise in its home market. And in October, the rate of decrease even accelerated, says InsideEVs.com. Combined with a decrease, which is happening in the USA, and probably not that great results in Europe, if I'm honest with you. Not good enough yet to release a positive sales report. At least Nissan's EV outcome can only really be described as disappointing at the moment, especially for a pioneer that undertook the huge effort to bring the Nissan Leaf to market, re-educating customers, doing a big awareness job, even putting in chargers. Yes, they did that in an alliance with others, I must admit, but Nissan did so much so early. Why is the Leaf now failing 10 years later? And the best ever Leaf is on the market. Two battery options. The small one, 40 kilowatt hours. The big one, 62 kilowatt hours. They're selling at a lower rate now than the cars were 12 months ago. In Japan, there were only 820 Leafs sold in October. That's down 51% year on year, although the Leaf was still in the top 40 most popular models if you're looking for a bright side. What is going on with Nissan and the Leaf and other EVs coming from Nissan as well? I'd love to know your thoughts if you're a Leaf owner. It's a car that I've never owned, but I rate very highly. Never driven the E+, but I've driven the 40 kilowatt hour Leaf. You know what? Great car. Well put together. Nice tech. Great price. 62 kilowatt hour one. Because the price is higher, I think you start to get into some territory of, I'm not a million miles away from owning a Tesla Model 3 at that stage. And then if you are in the price range of where they've put the E+, and it does vary around Europe, but then you start to think, well, okay, the VW ID3 is coming out and the offshoots of that. And it is at a price where perhaps it gets more competitive. I'd love to know your thoughts, though, especially if you're a Leaf owner. Why are sales in the doldrums? Let me know. Email me anytime. hello@evnewsdaily.com. Moving on to BMW. This year, the Bavarians launched an impressive number of plug-in hybrids, including the 330e plug-in hybrid. However, in the future, more plug-in hybrids are going to be launched, including the 320e, which is a 3 Series, of course, according to BMW blog during a recent meeting held in Munich, highlighting the results that BMW have achieved over the last 9 months, in the first 9 months of the year. The BMW CEO, Oliver Zips, talked about hybrid touring versions, and they're going to be coming next year. So whatever you call a touring car, an estate, a sportback, wagon, maybe, I think BMW's estate styling is just great. Now, I've never owned a BMW estate. Had a Skoda Octavia estate for a few years, and let me tell you, I refurbished a house with that car. It swallowed new doors, it swallowed skirting boards. That was a great car. Bought it off a farmer, actually. And it was a working vehicle, been used, and I carried on using it. Didn't abuse it, but an estate car, a wagon, whatever you want to call it, is such a useful form factor for a car. Now, by the end of the year, we're going to have 12 fully electric and plug-in hybrid BMW models on the roads. Customers, they say, desire our plug-in hybrids because they can use them as their only vehicle. According to the CEO, Oliver Zips, the 3 Series Touring will be available as a plug-in hybrid variant next year, and I think that'll be very popular with a certain group of buyer. They'll like the idea that they're forward-thinking. They'll like the idea that they're going to be electrifying. They'll tell all of their buddies and their friends, and they'll be dropping off the kids, hopefully on the school run, in pure electric mode. And they'll say, I have an EV. And they'll do maybe 20 to 25 miles in pure EV range. And then, of course, they've got the big fossil gobbler in the front of the car for those long journeys. They will certainly serve a purpose, not for me personally. My neighbour owns a Mercedes plug-in hybrid, and they love it. And yeah, it's always plugged in overnight as well, so they've always got a full battery. Volkswagen are next, and they have released design sketches of the 7th model that they will be building on the new platform, the MEB platform. The car is known for the time being as the ID Space VIZZION, all in capitals with lots of Zs. Says Clean Technica. Now, the ID Space VIZZION is a wagon of tomorrow, talking about estate cars, that combines aerodynamic characteristics of a Gran Turismo, a GT car, with the spaciousness of an SUV. Stylistically, the Space VIZZION is following the design DNA of the ID family, completely independent and progressive character, says VW. Yes, this is a concept. No, you can't buy it. Interesting to see their take on a modern estate car. I don't buy their line that it has the space of an SUV and the styling of a wagon. It has the space of a wagon in the styling of a wagon, but it's not SUV space. You know what? If they can bring this to market as soon as possible, I reckon they would be onto a winner with this. Right, Porsche are next, and Porsche isn't hanging around with their electrification strategy. While the world's attention is firmly upon the Porsche Taycan, Stuttgart's first full production electric vehicle, its engineers are really busy working on more affordable pure EVs, the replacements for there's the entry-level Boxster, the 718 Boxster, and the entry-level Cayman. They are both going to be all electric, underlining how serious Porsche is about getting full electric cars out onto the market, says Car Magazine. Their intel that has been leaked, or it's found its way to Car Magazine, would say that the specs are as follows. A powertrain that has 2 electric motors, so all-wheel drive. Output of 400 horsepower is the target. Aluminium monocoque, due on sale. Oh, yeah, this is where it gets slightly less sexy, this story. 2023. Yeah, we are talking 4 years away. All right, let's move on. And a couple of factory stories. Bear with me. This is interesting, I promise. GM, General Motors, says the factory's Lordstown factory, their new purpose of that is to help establish Ohio as a hub for EV manufacturing, says The Verge. But the Lordstown plant now rests in the hands of a very small company that finds itself trying to do what almost no other startup has been able to do: build an entirely new American automaker from the ground up. And we know the last one to do that successfully is still criticised widely, even by Americans, because Tesla is indeed a homegrown American USA flag-waving success story, and I still get baffled from thousands of miles away how there are still people that try and do the company down. It's an American success story. You should be so proud of it. Now, another company wants to do the same. Lordstown Motors. Lordstown Motors is a new company that was specifically set up to buy the Lordstown plant. It was created by Steve Burns, the founder and former CEO of the vehicle startup Workhorse, who have had their struggles. Workhorse has sold electric delivery vans in the past, and they're in the running for the contract to build the US Postal Office, the Postal Service's next-gen EV. But they found themselves recently in some financial straits. The startup has lost $38 million, says The Verge, in 2019, and have generated nowhere near that in sales in the last quarter. I'll pop a link to The Verge in the show notes. And staying with factory news, the new plant of the Volkswagen SAIC plant, because of course in China, these big automakers had to do joint ventures. So SAIC Volkswagen, a new joint venture, new plant is being dedicated to production of all electric vehicles on the MEB platform. It's been completed in Shanghai, and they're celebrating the start of pre-production. And a first, China-specific, all-electric Volkswagen ID rolled off the production line. It's really all happening now in China, and it's so exciting. According to Green Car Congress, and I got a quote here from Dr. Stefan Wallenstein, I think I would say that. He's the CEO of VW China. It took only 12 months to see the completion of this innovative factory. Congratulations to our colleagues in Anting, who will further prepare to produce the first China model of the Volkswagen ID family here in Shanghai. We will speed up our NEV offensive. Of course, NEV is Chinese, that's their lingo for new energy vehicle, as we expect further e-mobility market growth. And final story. Now here's an EV that would sell, I think, well, anywhere. General Motors has a total of 20 new EVs coming by 2023, but don't think they're all for the US. China is the largest market for EVs in the world, and GM is catering to that reality, says CNET. On that note, says Roadshow, China's latest EV car has been served. It's the Chevy Menlo, M-E-N-L-O, the Menlo EV. Debuted on Friday, and before you ask, no, the car isn't going to be sold in the USA. And that is a shame because, well, I think it would sell well. It's a GM, it's an SUV, it's going to fit the whole family. A Chevy representative confirmed to Roadshow that the model is specific to China and no plans to bring it to the US. The range is close to the Buick Velite 6s. All the Chinese ranges, remember, are all done on the NED test cycle, so treat with caution, or I should say just halve it and you'll get somewhere nearer the real range. However, even if a cheap SUV from GM did 180 miles or 200 miles, that would still be a really, really attractive car if it was priced correctly. But you won't get it in the US, only heading to China, and we'll track how that one sells. Right, question of the week this week, asking all about carrots and sticks. What do you prefer, incentives or penalties? Incentives to buy EVs or penalties for polluters? You can email me anytime, hello@evnewsdaily.com. Thank you to 254 patrons of this podcast. Our premium partners are Phil Roberts of Electric Future, Brad Crosby, and Avid Technology. If you would like to get any one of the archive shows, well, you can do. If you want to download any of the 635 shows, be my guest. The new ones come at you first and free and automatically if you are a subscriber to the free podcast feed in your favourite podcast app. You can find me on Apple, Google, Spotify, and the rest. Come and say hi on social media by searching EV News Daily. Have a wonderful day. Catch you soon. Remember, there's no such thing as a self-charging hybrid.